What's up everyone? Jughead's Journey here. Welcome back to our Let's Watch Jujutsu Kaisen series. Today we will be watching episode 9, Small Fry and Reverse Retribution. Whatever that means. I'm being introduced to a new badass looking character this episode. I don't even know if I was even given his name or not last episode. With the brief moment we saw him, I wouldn't remember it anyways, but he looks amazing. You can just look at a character sometimes and go, that's gonna be my guy. I don't know why or how he is with Yuji and what happened at this movie theater that everyone is dead that we're gonna be entering right now. But without any further ado, tune in to my full uncut reaction here and then stay for my in-depth analysis discussion after the episode. So, Jujutsu Kaisen episode 9 in 3, 2, 1, let's watch. Pick up where we were, or I don't know, because there was a weird time skip. What? Never mind, we're not going to the movie theater. We're in a whole different thing. Someone's ogling at some boobs. This guy? If I could kill everyone I don't like with the press of... Probably wouldn't do it. But if there was a button to kill everyone who didn't like me, I'm certainly pressing that button. Is that what happened at the movie theater, man? Did you kind of lose your temper? Was that the straw that broke the camel's back? Human Earthworm 3. Oh god, uh-oh. Was that, I'm so bad with names still. Mahito? People talking in the movie theater, I'm right with you, man. Let's press that button and blow them up. I hate that. When you see the white light of somebody's phone, or people talking. There's no winning. Is the teacher just gonna ignore it? God damn. Ooh, that cuts. That cuts. Because you're easy. Ooh, shit. Obviously, the Human Earthworm 3 is based off Human Centipede. Blow these motherfuckers up. Just do it. Oh! So Mahito is the one that kills them all. Is he gonna recruit him? God damn, they got messed up. You didn't realize something happened until the lights came on? That's such a ironic thing for in Japan. In America, the second something slightly sketchy goes down in a movie theater, people are running out. Bullies suck, man. I don't understand where this is going. Like, why was Mahito there just randomly? And what is the importance of this character? Oh, he can do it too? Now, are we gonna see my guy? This character that has one of the coolest, smoothest character designs I've seen in this show so far, that I'm excited to see. We need to call in the special group. This guy right here looks fucking awesome. Like I said, you can just look at a character design of a character and know, okay, they put some time and effort in this guy. This guy is gonna be my guy. Ooh. Sensing before seeing. I love the voice actor. I love his stoic personality. Okay, backstory. Reliable protege to take my place. Nanami Kento. So Nanami. He's a former office worker. He's got a good head on his shoulders. First grade sorcerer. Yeah, true. They're also idiots. Take the one that's more fun. If everybody's an idiot, get the one you're better at, get paid more, or more fun. But we are nothing alike. Ooh, even worse. Let's get going. I don't acknowledge you as a sorcerer. Prove that you're valuable here. I don't consider you a sorcerer. Or I won't be able to choose the way I die. Love that line. Oh shit. Creature from the Black Lagoon behind you. What the fuck is that? Please, let me see. Let me see. Let me see you in action. There's another one? Also fucking ugly. Lunchbox and detergent. Oh, unbuttoning the jacket. Loosening the tie. I want to see you in action. What is that? More hairs on your pillow. Convenience store not selling your favorite thing. Ooh, there you see his eyes. It's the little experiences, the little cuts here and there, the jading little by little that makes you an adult. Not the life or death experiences. When dividing 70 into 10s, I'm able to strike that point. It's a critical hit. Huh? So he's gonna he creates critical hit points on his opponents, and then he has to hit it again to deal that critical hit damage. Almost like a weird condition where in order to I have to hit my opponent twice in the same spot. So it is like a condition, like in Hunter x Hunter. Oh, that's cool with the goggles. Damn. Turned him into a potato. And now let's see what you can do. So he finds the critical hit. So he says he creates the critical hit weak spots. He doesn't just find them and hit them. He creates them. Now what are you gonna do? Is Sukuna coming out? Damn, he looking like a pop star. Yeah, there's a lag time. One strike equals 2 blows. And then, boom! Divergent fist. Sick. But it's still 20%. Okay. Talking like a salaryman, like an accountant. What? Oh shit. Are these real people? Were they converted? These aren't cursed spirits. Oh shit. They possess cursed energy. Their brain stems were tampered with? Weird. A lot of exposition right now that I'm having to keep track of. So don't take it too hard. You didn't kill these former humans. Whoever changed them is who killed them, because they died of shock. You gotta respect his moral integrity. Fuck yeah. So is this his new apprentice? His new Padawan? What people fear most aren't fairy tales. He manipulating the hell out of you. People have always feared the earth, the forests, and the oceans. The natural world. They fear what they don't understand. That they gained consciousness before they took form and remained in Oh! So they're manifestations of nature. Wow. I'm born from the fear and hatred people have for each other. So if we all just listen to that Beatles song, All You Need Is Love, he wouldn't exist. Ijichi. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. If I have to keep track of who knows you're actually alive. You know, Gojo, Nanami, him, the doctor, So he's not a professor, he's not a teacher. Okay. At neither Tokyo, Kyoto, or whatever. Just a colleague, associate, whatever, with Gojo. Bringing him in as like a contractor. Well, you're already standing out with the outfit and then that. Classic 2-act episode today. Episode immediately opens with a teenager named Junpei Yoshino getting beat up and bullied for apparently looking at some girl's boobs. And his story origins shift back and forth with Yuji pairing with Nanami as they investigate this movie theater massacre. He's got outer wounds caused by physical beatings and inner private wounds caused by, what would you say, ostracism and desperation in this claustrophobic social world he is in. Soft-spoken, unconfident, disrespected, ignored, like we saw with the girl in the ticket booth at the theater. He either gets bad attention or none at all. Yoshino and Nanami kind of serve as restless foils to each other on either side of the dual acts this episode. You know, Junpei's arc right now feels like it embodies cruelty and vulnerability and the human cost of such social cruelty. He is the small fry caught in the jaws of society and bullying and also this cursed influence. Mahito hooked him. Nanami, by contrast, is assured. He is a seasoned sorcerer full of pragmatic resolve and emotional control. Mahito is manipulating the hell out of this kid. He doesn't see it, but he's going to make him think power can heal his trauma when power can never heal trauma. Only human connection can do that. You know, under Mahito's bad influence and guidance, he's going to use his pain to justify his worldview, which is not good. And then he's doomed. Those wounds of Junpei's are going to be, you know, left unattended or tended to very poorly. And they're just going to open up more and more and become gateways for his corruption and downfall. This is going to be a tragic, tragic character. The first thing we even hear from Junpei is the line, if I could kill everyone I don't like with a press of a button, I probably wouldn't do it. But if there was a button for killing everyone who didn't like me, I wouldn't hesitate. That cuts to the heart of his pain and also the twisted logic born of and from rejection and isolation. Painfully ordinary teen, crushed under the weight of bullying. Typical trope. Desperate for acknowledgement, more so compassion, it feels like, in a world consistently dismissing him or just beating up on him. We don't see the entirety of his like history of this like throughout his life in flashbacks, but you don't need to, because this quote he utters is speaking from that place of accumulated wounds. All those jeers and shoves and punches and whispered mockeries are all fuel for a silent rage inside him, and that grows the creeping curse around him. Mahito, how he finds him. His line is actually really interesting. It feels like a classic revenge fantasy in the moment. Strike down things or people who have wronged you or who you hate. But he admits he probably wouldn't kill those he dislikes. Is that a spark of empathy still there? Or at least like a discernment about whom he deems worthy or truly deserves a final punishment like that? Because the calculus flips. Those who don't like him are fair game. It's inverted. Are we judging others by our own failings, or are we demanding absolute reciprocity from everyone else? Junpei, through this weird logic, is saying that social rejection is an unforgivable crime, and those who commit such should die. In Jujutsu Kaisen, a world of sorcery and curses, what have you, the line between having power and being consumed by it, razor thin. There's too much eagerness in the fantasy he has. Too thirsty for control when you're powerless. That warps moral judgment. Mahito will take advantage of that. It's just like, damn, right off the bat, not even like 10 seconds in, already got me thinking about validation and our human need and desire to be liked. Heavy stuff. Fundamentally, we need and desire to be seen and to be liked and to belong somewhere. If the targets were those who don't like him, he wouldn't hesitate. That shows how rejection wounds deeper than being done wrong or disliking others for whatever reasons. A bunch of us could say we've felt at times that our worth has felt measured by others' approval, that we have perceived ourselves sometimes reflected in their eyes. It's very relatable. It also seems from this episode that Jujutsu Society isn't some hidden cabal, but more like a semi-covert force operating alongside and sometimes in uneasy partnership with the regular institutions like the police department, investigations, forensics. We had those guys in the office. One of them complained, why were they on the scene before forensics? And the other guy gives them an answer that included, along the line of like, that was outside the realm of humanity. In the normal world, the police, maybe the media, perhaps even parts of the government, has at least some awareness that jujutsu sorcerers and curses exist and that there are phenomena beyond conventional explanation that likewise can't be fought against by conventional means. Ordinary citizens in general remain clueless about all of this stuff, but some higher institutions are a little privy to knowledge of curses, sorcery, and the stakes. I like that. There are limits to human institutions in the face of more existential threats. Police can secure crime scenes, solve normal murderers sometimes, collect forensics, interview witnesses, and whatever else. But when the enemy can shapeshift and rip out souls and create domain expansions and manifest from negative emotion, that is all useless. I like that Jujutsu Society is like the Black Ops secret cell that aren't in total absolute secret. There's some level of working together or getting out of the way. And that's why X-Files was so cool. That's what I really liked about early Bleach, where people and friends were sensitive to these things and could see and interact with this whole other side of Ichigo in the world of Bleach. The entire premise of Men in Black is based off this. Same with, the Godzilla universe franchise. Hellboy is one of my favorite comics and characters, and his whole story is like this too, so I love that. Let's talk about Nanami. Instantly love this man. Instantly love Nanami. His personality is great. Just the type of character I always love, like a perfect blend of dry, deadpan, unintentional humor when done correctly, alongside like disciplined stoicism. He made me laugh multiple times, but he doesn't set out to be funny. He's not written that way, and that's when funny is really funny. I love that mundanity juxtaposed with superhuman skill. Such a trope I'm a sucker for, always. Nanami just sees sorcery through the lens of daily work like it was anything else, through the lens of a salaryman. Punch in, punch out, really enjoy the dialogue and interactions between him and Yuji, being straight with him. He's not a teacher, so doesn't act like a teacher and doesn't treat Yuji like a student, but still sounds like an old master talking to a youngling in, cryptic proverbs. Like when he tells Yuji, sensing before seeing is standard for one who's capable. like a Yoda or something. That's not just teaching a technique, he's conveying a mindset. Classical stoicism, The sage seeks to perceive reality clearly without distortion from emotion, like Marcus Aurelius or Seneca, taking everything objectively, be a detached observer, calmly weigh all facts, or telling Yuji, I won't praise you or insult you. Adhere to the facts with a disciplined mind. That is my way of doing things. There was a time when I mistakenly believed that society operated the same way, but that's for another time. Nanami just sounds and acts like a man of balance in contrast to all the other characters, especially a Gojo and Yuji, in different respects. Clear code of conduct, economical with his praise, very self-aware, and he acknowledges the gap between ideal and reality. So he stays stoic and relatable at the same time. What's so crazy to me, though, is that if I'm kind of thinking about it right, Nanami is younger or the same age as Gojo, right? Because Gojo introduces him like an equal, or talks of him like he's technically above Nanami. He calls him a reliable protege. They talk like they went to Jujutsu Tech together at the same time. That's how they know each other. And Nanami talks like Jujutsu Tech wasn't even that long ago for him. When he talks about how the one thing he learned at Jujutsu Tech is that sorcerers are shit. And when he went to be a salaryman, instead, he learned, hey, working is shit too. So he quickly went back to being a sorcerer, at least be the one he's more cut out for. It has to be like the clean-cut salaryman look that makes him look older. Like I thought he was a professor, quite frankly, or something. But he's not. He's the same age, I guess, colleague, classmate of Gojo or something. So he must have graduated. Something about being a sorcerer burned him out. He went the normal life route. That sucked even more. Both paths are shit, but I'll take the path I'm suited for. And he doesn't talk to anyone below him like a student either. I said that earlier, talking about the dynamic between him and Yuji that I like. He just straight up tells Yuji, I don't acknowledge you as a sorcerer. You might be carrying the bomb that we know as Sukuna, but please make an effort to prove yourself useful. Nanami refuses to grant Yuji the automatic legitimacy most first-year students get. Until now, you've been along for the ride, just being carried by circumstance, Sukuna, Gojo's vouching as well, but you gotta carry weight now. He does that on purpose to force Yuji to strive harder, to earn his place. You don't get a free pass. Show me you belong. And that's what he does. Yuji admits he is weak and useless, but he has to get strong now, or else he won't be able to choose the way he dies, which he has said multiple times before, but it is nevertheless just as fascinating every time he says it. Only his strength can secure his end. Strength isn't power, and power isn't immortality. Strength is the power to determine your own fate. If negative emotions birth these curses, how do we contain that negativity without letting it consume us and us all? Yuji's resolve is that positive counterbalance. He feels weakness and fear, emotions that could fuel a curse, but he accepts them and channels them into determination. I have to be strong. It's almost like a personal mantra or prayer or incantation you say to yourself to convert negativity into optimism, vulnerability into purpose. Like alchemy. It just has to be a conscious, deliberate choice, defying despair and turning that into hope. And I continued to really enjoy the banter between the two of them. Nanami likes to make clear and reiterate he isn't a teacher or master. Yuji isn't his student. this sorcery work is shit, but he's very protective. He still takes his position serious and his status or stature or hierarchical position serious, whatever you want to call that. He has a code of sorts and behaves very mature and father figure-ish, despite being so young himself. When the two of them have to each take on those cursed, spirit-converted humans, Nanami told Yuji, if you're in trouble, please let me know. And Yuji's like, have some faith in me, will you? But Nanami replies, it's not a matter of faith. I'm an adult and you are a child. I have an obligation to prioritize your life over my own. He might have this super dry professionalism, but he obviously has a deep felt sense of responsibility. One, he denies Yuji's request for some faith and words of encouragement. He's not going to do that for you. But he's asserting something stronger than faith, which is duty. Faith, you could say, is voluntary. Duty and obligation is given, and it's binding. Yuji's safety is not optional for him. It's not mentor, teacher, and student. It's almost like more guardian and ward, or even surrogate parent, father figure, and child relationship. It's an adult's responsibility to protect whenever a child's life is at stake. Take the sentimentality out of it with this faith crap. Again, words from Nanami fire up Yuji, who says he'd rather be underestimated than treated like a child. I'd rather have underestimation than condescension. If I'm underestimated, my capabilities are downgraded by those underestimating me, but I'm still on the field of play. To be treated like a kid is to have all my decisions made for me. I barely get a seat at the table. Yuji wants that seat at the table. If all those at the table doubt him, who cares? And Nanami knows what he's doing when he says what he says. He wants to earn that respect instead of being protected and shielded out of pity. This line dovetails with the previous line I just spoke about, choosing the way he dies. Just as he wants to choose how and when he dies, he also wants to choose how he lives and how he fights. Being treated like a kid would mean those decisions are made for him. Underestimation still leaves decisions in his hands. He can prove them wrong and die when and how he wants. And I was saying how much I like his blend of unintentional humor with calm stoicism. Right after Nanami's serious protective side comes out, how quickly it changes to that unintentional humor to cut through the tone and bring us back to smiles again. When he told Yuji, like, you might have multiple life or death sentences, but that does not make you an adult. Finding more fallen hairs on your pillow each day. Your local convenience store no longer selling your favorite sandwich. Experiencing little losses like these is what makes people grow into adults. And hey, I've noticed a couple individual gray hairs pop up right here. Literally like one or two. I can literally pluck them out. But they're there. I see them in the mirror. And I'm in my 20s, so what the hell is that about? I've mourned the losses of a few favorite snacks being discontinued. Still depressed over those Little Debbie snack cakes. What the hell, man? And you know, in a story and world about curses and supernatural threats, nothing like these simple daily grievances to ground us. You know, even sorcerers got to deal with hair loss and weight gain and daily commutes. Nobody's above the small, ordinary frustrations in adult life. I think we all got to remember that. Though, Nanami sounds so cool when he complains about it. That's the difference. The man does not sell out his coolness factor. Delivers the same little monologue with the same flat effect when he was slicing through that cursed spirit. He's tonally consistent. Operates on a smooth wavelength. That's what's so fun and entertaining. A man who just argued about the duty of sacrificing his own life to save a younger one's, now treating male pattern baldness and 7-Eleven sandwiches as the true rites of passage into adulthood. I also like that it conveys his own experiences through life after graduating from Jujutsu Tech. He's wistfully self-aware, admitting almost against his own wishes, almost bitterly, that he isn't the fresh-faced graduate he once was either. He's faced what the adult life is really all about. Even a few years in the real world, once you start adulting for real, can jade you quick, even in the tiniest of ways. The passage of time and the way life chips away at innocence and optimism. Work fucking sucks. Nanami also did something very interesting this episode too. Showed me once more, I think I've talked about it a few times here and there over the previous 8 episodes, showed me once more how heavily influenced by Hunter x Hunter this manga/anime is. Nanami verbally explained his ability in the middle of battle. My curse technique allows me to create a weak point in my opponent. 7-3. When dividing the subject into tenths, if I'm able to strike that point, 7-3, that allows me to inflict significant damage, even on stronger adversaries. If the opponent is weak, I can cut them even with this dull blade. Yuji was obviously like, you sure it's a good idea to like openly divulge how your techniques work? Doesn't that put you at a disadvantage? Don't you want to keep your cards close to your chest? And Nanami is like, no, not necessarily. This is straight out of Hunter x Hunter. Nen users can create conditions, vows, restrictions. By accepting a harsh limitation or condition, they multiply their Nen's power. Coincidentally, we just finished the Greed Island arc on my channel a couple weeks ago. This is literally Genthru. Genthu's countdown ability requires him to explain or demonstrate both of his abilities, and also say the word bomber while simultaneously touching his target. Only by fulfilling those conditions will countdown even work. Jujutsu Kaisen's binding vow, which Nanami makes it sound like it's a really common vow for sorcerers to use, looking back at it, makes more sense why Gojo explained Limitless and Infinity to Jogo in their fight last episode. So it is very clearly influenced by Hunter x Hunter's Nen system. Tagashi's work overall seems to be a great inspiration for the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen, because it does feel like a combination of Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho, and like Bleach too, and some others. If I haven't watched so many animes, so I can't, if you say it's been influenced by this or that too, I may not know because I haven't seen it. I've commented on this before during the Greed Island arc, complimenting Tagashi's writing, and I'll repeat it here. The creator of Jujutsu Kaisen was smart to copy this idea from Tagashi. Very often in manga and anime, a hero or villain will pause or halt in the middle of a battle or a confrontation, literally just stand there, practically look right at you, at the screen, and practically just say, okay, now let me tell you exactly how my power works. And the writer's only doing that so readers and watchers understand what's going on. But there's really like no other way to do that than to literally pause the action and just have two characters stand still opposite of each other and talk to each other about their powers. And it's just awkward and dumb, but it's unavoidable and it takes you out of the immersion. You lose all momentum. What I loved from Tagashi was that he clearly saw this stereotype and almost parodied it. He took the pause and the exposition and made it a part of the power system, a part of the story and the conflict, a part of the narrative. It made it purposeful. This character must explain his ability in order to use it. Explaining your ability isn't a cheat for the writers, it's an actual mechanism of the power system. So a character isn't pausing to explain their ability just for our benefit to understand. They're invoking an actual rule or mechanic or mechanism that governs their abilities. When you have so many complex, unique abilities for all these different characters that are going to have to be explained, obviously, it's super smart to take inspiration from Nen conditions and vows and create the concept of binding vows, so that when your characters do pause mid-battle to explain their powers in precise detail, we can understand both. Oh, okay, the writers are making sure we know how his powers work and what they're called. And also, oh, okay, he's invoking the binding vow, so his technique is amplified. It also really works in a story like this, where one of the deeper themes is about words being contracts, promises, languages that bind emotionally and spiritually, going all the way back to episode 1, when Yuji's grandpa told him, "You're strong, so help others. Even if it's only the ones closest to you, save the people you can. It's okay if you lose your way. Don't worry about thank yous. Just save as many people as you can, even if it's just one. So when you die, you're surrounded by people." Those words formed Yuji's personal contract, his binding vow with himself. So just like in Hunter x Hunter, here in Jujutsu Kaisen, this also supports the theme of personal emotional contracts, your words being power, your verbal vows and conditions aren't just contracts for your nen or for your curse techniques. Your words are contracts on your heart and soul too. I'm also really liking seeing cursed energy in its raw form with Yuji, in its simplest raw form in Yuji's fists. Megumi's animal manifestations, Gojo literally creating infinite space, but here it's just glowing raw aura. Fits his personality too, Divergent fist. It's just aura pooling at his fists, bleeding forward like a massive pulse of energy. It's pure in expression, like Yuji. It's simple and honest, like Yuji. It's visceral, like Yuji. Technique that fits the fighter perfectly. Again, some Hunter x Hunter main character influence. What I just said, you could say for Gon. Divergent fist, Jajanken. Yuji's cursed energy also actually has a lag. It actually needs to catch up to his raw human or superhuman athletic ability. And since he can't control it really well, it moves in a straight, simple linear trajectory. It just follows the motion. So he essentially has a two-hit punch. If he punches something or someone, his physical fist makes contact first, deals a hard blow, and then the cursed energy follows. One strike, two blows. Divergent fist. I like that. Yuji, he's an athlete first. From episode 1. So good of an athlete, he doesn't even play on any teams because it wouldn't be fair or fun for all the others. He's a track and field star. We saw how he threw that baseball the first episode. His curse technique is just simply building on what he already knows. Drive your body forward with purpose, physically and spiritually. But the slight delay between fist and aura hints at his need to learn control. Divergence, that word, is both literal and metaphorical for him. And so it'll be fun watching Yuji become more refined over time. He's another stone that needs polishing. I think Nanami's gonna like the foundation he has to work with to help Yuji. Even he commented on Yuji's superhuman strength, wondering if it's natural or not. Commenting how his cursed energy is still stronger than the average sorcerer's despite being so little. We know Sukuna is in there, but at any given moment, I don't know how much he's doing or offering. But nonetheless, Nanami realizes why he and Yuji were brought together. Yuji has great potential. But turns out, what they were fighting were actually humans. Emphasis on the past tense. Their bodies were forcibly altered by a cursed technique. But Nanami couldn't tell because they had cursed energy, just like cursed spirits. So he thought they were indeed cursed spirits. Their brain stems were even tampered with in order to mentally impair and confuse them. If whoever the culprit is can manipulate the brain, it might be possible for that person to give cursed energy to humans. Kind of reminds me of the plot for the first X-Men movie when Magneto creates that machine that can turn humans into mutants, but that one politician he tested on became like an experiment gone wrong, got all deformed, and he died. Whatever this ability of MAHITO'S is that allows him to imbue cursed energy like a cancer or physically reshape human beings, I'm still trying to understand concepts like innate domains versus domain expansions. Whatever this ability is would be his innate domain. Yeah. Because an innate domain is in the mind, and you use cursed energy to project it externally. And then domain expansion would be expanding that innate domain to envelop and trap them into this, into your projected innate domain, right? So his innate domain lets him imbue human vessels with cursed energy, which effectively fucks them up and turns them into living cursed spirits and deforms them. And it's so good of a technique that even a seasoned sorcerer like Nanami couldn't tell the difference. And their brain stems are modified to cause confusion and aggression, which makes them attack. So it's literally like hacking and tempering with the soul, rewiring body and mind. And again, this feels kind of Chimera-antish. The same kind of loss of agency, forced corruption, loss of innocence, corruption of innocence, that the Chimera Ant Queen forcibly alters and changes ordinary innocent people into monsters against their will, without warning, with tiny fragments of themselves still in there. Also makes Mahito even darker, twisting and reshaping minds and souls like they're Play-Doh. And then we cut back to some emotional humanity when Yuji is told he didn't kill those people and don't dare think for a second that you did. He needed to hear that he knows he has this support system. But Yuji responds to that with, the gravity of death is the same to me either way. But this isn't right. Nanami hears him, kind of thinks of him differently, or kind of starts to see another side. This kid genuinely gets upset for others. A real side to Yuji. To Yuji, there's no hierarchy to suffering. Someone has died, whether he kills or someone else kills, whether his hand is on the trigger or not, someone is dead when they shouldn't be. It's a tragedy. It's not about who pulls the trigger, it's about acknowledging the sanctity of life itself. He isn't upset because he fears punishment or consequences or because his reputation might be damaged. He's upset because innocent lives suffered and died. His primary drive is to protect others, not save face. He's following his grandpa's last words. You operate in a world like this, you got to learn to manage your feelings. But Yuji doesn't Yuji doesn't compartmentalize death, his own or another's. He carries every loss like a personal wound of his own. This is a good and bad thing, because on one hand, this must strengthen his resolve and make him more powerful, if we're again being inspired by Togashi. But it also risks total emotional overload. And this is why he needs a mentor like Nanami, who can temper his immense compassion with strategy and focus. Lastly, I gained incredible new exposition on curses that I'm happy to learn more. We learn through the eyes and ears of Junpei, learning about curses for the first time from Mahito. And Mahito said, curses are born from the buildup of cursed energy leaked from humans. Real or not, if something is feared by the masses, it can manifest as a powerful curse. People have always feared the earth, the forests, and the oceans. The cursed energy directed at them was so massive that they gained consciousness before they took form and remained in hiding. I already understand cursed energy pretty well, but the more exposition explaining I can get, hey, all the better. I'm not going to complain about having an even greater understanding and having it hammered into my brain. It's the byproduct of human negative emotion. Fear, hatred, regret, despair. Everyone on earth emits tiny amounts all the time. But when you magnify collective anxiety and terror, significant pools of cursed energy form. Kind of like if you imagine a dam with a crack in it, leaking drop by drop. Over time, those drops pool into a reservoir, and that crack continues to splinter. So, at that movie theater, Junpei's anguish, his loneliness, his desire for validation, his resentment contributed to the cursed energy. And Mahito is obviously going to exploit that vulnerability and manipulate Junpei in some way. It ain't looking good for him, I already know that. And when he said, real or not, if something is feared by the masses, it can manifest as a powerful curse, you don't even need a real monster. If everyone fears a faceless villain, that fear alone can birth a curse shaped by those fears. So it's the greatest irony. It's almost like a paradox. Those monsters and curses only exist because of the fear from people who think they already do. It's the belief that already existed that brought them into existence in the first place. It's like ghosts. Ghosts wouldn't exist if no one feared ghosts or thought ghosts were a thing. But because the idea of ghosts spread and spread negatively and more people believed in them, were afraid of them, they actually came to exist. If people loved ghosts, wouldn't be nothing to worry about. So it parallels and connects to all these urban legends and pieces of folklore, which is so cool. Bloody Mary, the Hookman, El Chupacabra, whatever you can think of. But the most important part of Mahito's explanation to Junpei, to me, was him saying how people have always feared the earth and the forests and the oceans. Across all cultures around the globe, early humans saw spirits and all natural forces, especially Japan. Thunderstorms, mountains, forests, lakes, and oceans. They personified powers to explain what they couldn't control. And this is especially important and relevant thinking about Japan. Think about all these other villains we've seen. What is Jogo? A volcano. What is Hanami? I think he's supposed to be the earth. What is that octopus thing? The ocean? What has happened throughout Japanese history, long ago and in recent times, that the Japanese might fear? What events have taken place? What natural disasters do they face? Unintentional rhyme scheme. What has been symbolic or thematic in also like countless Japanese media, from manga to TV to film? How would Jogo come to gain consciousness? The fear of volcanic eruptions. They have a high concentration of active volcanoes. It's a huge part of their cultural identity. Mount Fuji isn't just, a gorgeous photo op. It's not just the tallest mountain in Japan. It's an immense active volcano. It hasn't erupted for like 300 years, but it's still active. There has been increased volcanic activity all of 2025 so far in Japan. Even in the last, I guarantee, Google Japan volcano and something from like a day or two ago will come up. Japan stretches across where like 4 tectonic plates meet. And this doesn't just affect volcanic activity, but earthquakes as well. Japanese people heavily fear earthquakes. This would cause Hanami to gain consciousness if he's meant to be Earth. The Great East Japan earthquake in 2011 was a magnitude 9 earthquake, was one of the largest, if not the largest, ever recorded in Japan. And what did that earthquake cause? A devastating tsunami in the ocean that hit Japan, which could be how that other cursed spirit gained consciousness, that octopus sea looking thing. That tsunami had waves over like 130 feet. It took out that Fukushima nuclear power plant, which I remember was all over the news when I was in school in the mornings, or people talking about it in school. It was so serious. The earthquake and tsunami killed or lost almost like 20,000 people. It is no coincidence whatsoever for me. Mahito specifically brought up the earth and the forests and the oceans and all the natural things in the world. It was very intentional, in my opinion, by the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen to explore these fears and how relevant and real they are. But Mahito, he's the worst of them all. Mahito is born from people. He's born from the hatred and fear people have towards each other. What a fascinating, dark, serious idea to explore. He is the crystallization of the most corrosive part of human nature and society. Hatred and fear and resentment of other people. Every slight, every act of cruelty, more and more and more cursed energy pooling into that collective subconscious or unconscious or whatever. Mahito emerged from countless human grievances, and so he carries with him and within him the sum total of all human animosity. That's dangerous power, truly. As we see from what happened in the movie theater, which was like an easy snap of the fingers, like one finger poke, walk in the park, not a drop of sweat, no effort at all for him. He's even scared. He's even more scary now. Now I understand how intimidated I should be of him and how serious I should be taking him. He's no typical curse, not born from one single event or single location or single thing or single idea. He is a primordial wrong, like an everlasting, ever-present threat. How the hell do you get rid of an everlasting, ever-present threat? You know, that makes him way more unpredictable and terrifying. Like, you can't, how do you exorcise or banish or defeat something like that? He can arise wherever hatred simmers and can manipulate any of those negative emotions in any person. So, next episodes are bound to get intense. And with that, I am going to end today's discussion, which I think was pretty good. So, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button to let me know, and better yet, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to stay in the loop here. Keep the conversation going down in the comments below. And if you're interested in unedited reactions, early access, and exclusive content, go check out my Patreon. Having said all that, and with that said, so long, until next time, thank you, have a good one, peace.